Today's lesson is going to reveal how narcissistic behavior actually works and why super empaths disrupt manipulation and how awareness quietly disarms toxic dynamics. You will learn how to recognize the tactics, protect your emotional boundaries, and understand the patterns behind malignant self love. And I will be referring to a book in which I will have in the description along with the author. And so by the end of this lesson, you will see how awareness, composure, and disciplined responses remove the control narcissists depend on. Most people believe that narcissists move on quickly and forget those they once manipulated. And in many situations, that is true. A narcissist often treat relationships like disposable tools, replacing one person with another whenever attention fades. But occasionally, they encounter someone different, someone whose presence unsettles them in ways they cannot easily explain. And that person is often the super empath. The difference between an empath and a super empath, let me first explain this concept. A typical empath naturally senses emotional undercurrents in others. They deeply care and they give generously and they attempt to help people heal. A super empath carries those same qualities, but something else exists beneath the compassion. A super empath also possesses awareness. Instead of remaining trapped in confusion, the super empath gradually recognizes the manipulation happening around them. At first, they respond with patience and understanding. They try to help the narcissist grow. They offer support, they attempt forgiveness, but eventually something changes. The moment the super empath fully understands what is happening, that moment alters the entire dynamic. The narcissists operate through predictable cycles. So they charm, they manipulate, and they drain emotional attention, and they provoke reactions. And when the person becomes exhausted, they discard them and find someone new. This pattern works on many people, from the professional setting to family dynamics and social relationships as well. But when a narcissist meets a super empath, the cycle begins to malfunction. The super empath observes, they listen, they quietly study. And once the pattern becomes obvious, they stop reacting the way the narcissist expects. Instead of confusion, the super empath becomes composed. Instead of chasing approval, the super empath withdraws emotional access. And instead of defending themselves endlessly, the super empath simply steps back. And for a narcissist, this moment feels deeply unsettling because their usual tactics suddenly stop working. Most people a narcissist encounters eventually fall into one of two categories: people who remain under their influence, or people who disappear quietly. But the super empath leaves something behind: a disruption. A narcissist often remembers the super empath for several reasons. First, the super empath saw through them. Few people truly understand how narcissists operate. When someone quietly recognizes the pattern, it threatens the narcissist's self image. Second, the super empath resisted manipulation without becoming cruel. The narcissist expects anger, chaos, and desperation. Instead, they encounter composure, and that kind of response lingers in their memory. Third, the super empath walked away without needing validation. Narcissists expect people to remain emotionally hooked. But when someone exists calmly and permanently, it leaves the narcissist with unanswered questions. And I believe there's another reason why the narcissists remember the super empath. The super empath briefly exposed what authentic connection could have been. For a short period, the narcissist experienced something genuine, someone who truly cared, someone who offered patience, someone who tried to understand them. When that connection ends, the narcissist often attempts to recreate it with others, but the result never feels the same. And that contrast remains in their memory. The super empath does not defeat the narcissist through confrontation. They do it through awareness and departure. The power of the super empath comes from understanding when compassion must stop feeding manipulation. And when that understanding arrives, the super empath becomes the rare person a narcissist cannot easily erase. And it's not because the narcissist loved them, but because they represented the one encounter that could not be controlled. See, to the empath, the encounter initially with the narcissist felt like connection. But for the narcissist, it is reconnaissance. They are studying the empath. They are taking a look and taking a feel of the empaths. They're learning what inspires them. They're learning what hurts them. They're learning where emotional access can be gained. At the beginning, the empath does what they naturally do. They listen, they support, and they try to help. But something about the super empath is different. Because while the super empath cares deeply, they are also quietly observing. And the longer the interaction continues, the more patterns begin to appear. And at first, the behavior can appear subtle, small contradictions, strange moments where the narcissist rewrites a previous conversation, moments where admiration suddenly becomes criticism, moments where kindness becomes coldness without explanation. Most people remain confused by this cycle. The super empath does not stay confused for long. Instead, the super empath becomes attentive. They begin to notice timing, when, where, and they begin to notice emotional triggers, right? So they begin to also notice the way the narcissist tries to provoke reactions. What the narcissist expected was emotional dependency, but what begins to form instead is awareness. Every narcissist dynamic depends on one crucial element: control over attention, control over emotional reactions, control over the narrative of what is happening. But one day, something unusual happens. The super empath stops reacting the way they once did. They stop defending themselves. They stop chasing explanations. They stop trying to repair the relationship. Instead, they become composed, present, watchful. To the narcissist, the moment feels deeply unsettling because their usual tactics suddenly stop producing the expected response. The emotional reactions disappear. The confusion disappears. And for the first time, the narcissist senses that the super empath understands what has been happening all along. Most narcissists expect two possible endings. The first is that the other person remains emotionally attached and continues seeking approval. The second is that the other person collapses into anger or frustration. But the super empath does something neither of those endings predicted. They withdraw calmly, not with drama, not with revenge, but simply with quiet finality. The narcissist suddenly finds themselves outside the dynamic they once controlled. And that is when something unexpected happens. The narcissist begins replaying the entire relationship in their mind, trying to understand when the control disappeared, trying to locate the moment everything changed, trying to understand how the super empath saw through them. The reason narcissists never forget the super empath is not only because they lost control, it is because the super empath represented the one connection that could have been genuine. And for a brief time, the narcissist encountered someone who truly cared, someone perceptive and patient, capable of understanding them without manipulation. But that connection only existed as long as honesty was possible. When deception continued, the super empath stepped away. And once that door closes, the narcissist often spends years attempting to recreate the same connection with others. But something about the encounter never repeats. Because what made the super empath different was not only compassion, it was their awareness. The super empath does not defeat the narcissist through confrontation. The super empath ends the dynamic by understanding it completely. And once that understanding arrives, the super empath simply walks away. The narcissist may meet hundreds of people after that moment, but the super empath becomes the one memory that remains unresolved. Not because the narcissist loved him, but because it was the encounter where the game ended before the narcissist was ready. After encountering a narcissist, many people walk away asking the same question. How did someone appear so confident, so commanding, yet behave in ways that seemed deeply insecure and manipulative? And I read a book titled Malignant Self-Love. Again, that is in the description with the author's information. See, this term describes a personality pattern where a person builds an identity that is centered entirely on admiration, dominance, and control. The individual protects that identity at all costs, even if it means manipulating or harming others. For the narcissist, this identity is not simply pride, it becomes survival. Malignant self-love is not ordinary confidence, it is a psychological shield. Behind the outward image of superiority often exists a fragile inner identity that cannot tolerate criticism, accountability, or emotional vulnerability. Because of this, the narcissist begins constructing an alternative version of themselves. In that version, they are always right, they are always misunderstood, and they are always the most important person in the room. And anyone who challenges that identity becomes a threat. And this is why narcissists often target empathic people. Empaths naturally offer patience and understanding, which allows the narcissist image to remain protected longer than it might with others. But this dynamic rarely remains peaceful. Eventually, manipulation appears. Malignant narcissists rarely confront people directly. Instead, they use subtle tactics. They distort conversations. They provoke emotional reactions. They create confusion. They change narratives so that the other person begins doubting their own understanding of events. And this tactic is commonly known as gaslighting. It serves a specific purpose. If the narcissist can make another person question their own perception, the narcissist maintains control over the situation. But when someone begins to understand this tactic, the balance of power changes. Disarming a narcissist does not mean defeating them through confrontation. Direct conflict often strengthens their behavior because conflict still provides emotional attention. Instead, the most powerful response is awareness. Once a person understands how malignant self-love operates, several things begin to happen. They stop defending themselves endlessly. They stop attempting to convince the narcissist to admit wrongdoing. They stop feeding the endless cycle of arguments. And when those reactions disappear, the narcissist loses the emotional leverage they relied on. And this shift often confuses the narcissist because their tactics suddenly stop producing results. When narcissists sense that control is fading, their behavior often intensifies. They may attempt guilt, they may attempt intimidation, they may attempt charm again, returning to the same tactics that worked in the beginning. This phase can feel confusing to the person experiencing it because the narcissist may appear suddenly apologetic or even affectionate, but the pattern usually returns once control is regained. Understanding this cycle helps people remain grounded. It becomes easier to recognize manipulation when the pattern repeats. The most effective response to narcissistic manipulation is not emotional retaliation. It is emotional independence. This means setting boundaries. It means refusing to participate in endless arguments. It means recognizing when a conversation is being distorted. And sometimes it means stepping away entirely. When the narcissist no longer receives the emotional reaction they depend on, their influence begins to weaken. This does not change the narcissist's personality, but it restores power to the person who once felt trapped in the dynamic. Disarming a narcissist begins with understanding what is behind malignant self-love. It is not about proving the narcissist wrong. It is about recognizing the pattern and refusing to play the role the narcissist expects. When awareness replaces confusion, the manipulation loses its foundation, and the person who once felt overwhelmed begins to reclaim their sense of self. When a narcissist enters a relationship, they rarely doubt their ability to manage the situation. Their confidence comes from experience. They have learned how to charm people. They know how to gather personal information. They understand how to provoke emotional responses. And over time, they build a reputation in their own mind as someone who can influence nearly everyone. But for many relationships, this assumption proves correct. But occasionally, they encounter someone different. Someone who listens carefully, someone who observes quietly, and someone who does not react the way others do. And that person is often a super empath. During the early stages, the narcissist believes everything is unfolding exactly as expected. The super empath is patient, supportive, understanding, willing to listen. What the narcissist fails to realize is that the super empath is also studying the interaction. Patterns begin appearing, conversations that contradict earlier statements, sudden changes in behavior, moments where kindness becomes criticism without explanation. The super empath does not immediately confront these patterns. Instead, they begin to watch more carefully. And the more they observe, the clearer the dynamic becomes. Every narcissistic dynamic depends on emotional reactions. Confusion, arguments, attempt to prove innocence, attempt to repair the relationship. These reactions give the narcissist influence over the situation. But eventually, the super empath reaches a point of complete understanding. When that happens, something subtle begins to change. The empath becomes calm. They stop arguing. They stop chasing explanations. They stop trying to convince the narcissist of anything. At first, the narcissist assumes this calmness means submission. But the reality is very different. The empath has simply stepped outside the game. And for a while, the narcissist continues using the same tactics. They attempt guilt, charm, criticism, but something strange begins to happen. None of these tactics create the reactions they once did. And so the empath remains composed. They answer briefly. They disengage when conversations become distorted. They stop giving emotional access. And this is when the narcissist begins to feel something unfamiliar, uncertainty, because the strategy that once worked perfectly has suddenly stopped working. The moment a narcissist realizes they cannot control someone, the experience can feel deeply unsettling. Their entire identity depends on influence over others, and without that influence, their confidence begins to weaken. They may attempt new strategies, sudden apologies, unexpected affection, attempts to re-establish closeness. But the super empath has already seen the full pattern. The emotional door quietly closes. And once that happens, the narcissist begins to understand something they rarely experience. They have lost the dynamic. What the narcissist does not immediately understand is that the super empath never needed to defeat them. The empath simply learned the pattern and stepped away from it. And the moment becomes unforgettable. Not because the narcissist lost an argument, not because the empath attacked them, but because the narcissist encountered someone who understood the game and refused to continue playing. For someone accustomed to control, that realization can remain in memory for years. Thank you for visiting my channel. May your soul be blessed. Stay covered, stay conscious, and stay undefeated. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye.